I was introduced to the rotary cutter, and it dramatically changed my entire world. It's changed the quilting industry for almost every quilter that is out there today. Westerly Design, when they designed the ruler foot, they dramatically have changed that way quilters are quilting. Long armers have had rulers for a long time, but our domestic quilters were at a disadvantage. We've never had those amazing products that can advance our skills. I have so many people say that I can't free motion, that I don't know how to do it, that I'm not good at it. Ruler work is not free motion, it's guided motion. I already know where I'm going, and all I have to focus on is just keeping the foot attached to the ruler until I'm at the end of the line. So it's really big advancements helping people to make their quilts as beautiful as they want, and really changing the level of skill that our domestic quilters see.
Hi, it's Stacy with Sew Steady, and I'm so excited to be here with Mendy. Oh, Mendy. We're going to be kicking off our EmbroideLee Arrow quilt class today, and we're going to be using the Arrow EmbroideLee panel C, which is available for purchase, to do this amazing orange peel design. So this is one of the designs that you have in your box if you're an Elevate Club member, and obviously this is a classic. It's a gorgeous design. I loved that my mom, Mendy, mastered this design, and so we have a couple different videos today that we're going to share with you. We wanted to first show you how to get started on the panel, because you know, using the practice panel before you apply this to your quilt, it's really intelligent. That's a really good way to go. So you can do that any way you'd like, but we definitely encourage you to do that with the practice panels that we've provided you. And then to take that, and then she's going to apply it to her arrow quilt that she created 2 weeks ago on a live with you. So we're going to go ahead and get started right now. We'll post some links. We've got a really cool little EmbroideLee kind of quilt, how to get started quilting in the hoop handout that we're going to share with you as well. And then if you are not one of our Arrow or our Elevate Club members that got the Arrow EmbroideLee collection, then I will guide you to how you can download the free lookbook, because this lookbook is stunning. You can use that as inspiration to how to create designs with your rulers, because all of our EmbroideLee designs are originally created with rulers, and that's something that we're really proud of, and we really want to stick to, is that we don't want to provide you with a design that we haven't already created with a ruler. So that's just a little you know, knowledge on how we want to go about creating these amazing embroidery designs for all of you. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to have Mendy take it away. We'll probably have her working on the panel for the first 12 minutes or so, and then we'll head over to her other project, which is how to do this on a bigger quilt. All right. Thank you so much, and take it away, Mendy.
Hi everybody, Mendy with Sew Steady here. Today we're going to be using our practice panel for the arrow block, and I'm going to be doing some embroidery in anticipation of the project that I've got done. So what we have here is a block that is 12 inches side to side, and it is 12 inches top to bottom, so it's a square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center here and mark that, and we'll use this side consistently to mark this. So there's 6 right there, and let's do 6 up here. Okay, so now I'm just going to draw a line right down the center first of all. Then we're gonna take, there we go. All right, now we're gonna turn it and we're gonna do the same thing because I kind of want it in quadrants here. All right, so here is, let's do it on over here. Okay, there's 6 there, and 6 right here. Okay, I'm going to move that up just a little bit more so we can see it better. Okay, and we're going to do this right here. Here we go. Okay, so now I should have a 6 by 6 square. Just double check myself. What is that in carpentry? Measure once or measure twice, cut once. There we go. Okay, yes, I do. So now I've opted to use an orange peel design for my overall quilting pattern on my project. So since this is a 12-inch, we're going to use a 6-inch design so that I have to do it 4 times. And we'll show you the magic, or the almost magic of lining it up. Okay, so I'm going to be using this area right here. All right, let me go ahead and get this hooped and get to the embroidery machine, and we'll get going. All right, be right back. Okay, I'm still at the prep table because one of the things that I wanted to do was show you how I'm going to make markings that are going to help me line up when I'm in the 4 quadrants. So I'm taking my crosshair square and I've got a 6-inch here. So I'm going to line it up right where my markings are. And the 2 markings that I care about are straight up and down, and I do want to go into that other quadrant, and I'm going to do this way and this way. And then so I have my 4 markings here. I'm going to replicate that here. I'm going to get that lined up, and I'm going to use the marking that I had in that other one. And that's going to give me that consistent visual from quadrant to quadrant. That's going to help us here. And apparently I have a dog that has an opinion about this. All right, here we go. All the way down there. And then last one. And actually I can just line up on the markings that are here to finish my markings on that block. Okay, now we're ready to go. So I've got my quadrant markings, and now we'll go get this hooped and go to the machine. Okay, so we're all hooped up now and we're on the sewing machine. I wanted to show you the design that I'm picked out. It's from our starter set embroidery collection, and they call it the orange peel. I've selected the 6-inch design, and I did have to enlarge it just one time. So it's 5.85 by 5.86. And I did run a test on it, and I'm really happy with that size for the 6-inch block. And I think you'll see why as we move further into this demonstration. Okay, so let me get the camera repositioned and we'll start to embroider. All right, so here I am at the hooping. I've got the design up. Now I need to get it into the right position. So we're going to do layout, and we're going to do move. And I'm going to put my little laser light on. There we go. Okay. One more up there. Okay. Now I am going to put this right on that intersection of the pink and the blue purple. That's my middle point of this particular block. And I like that position. So we're going to put the foot down. And oh, I am testing some glamour thread from Wonderfill. So we're going to see some glamour here. All right. So this is the first block, and it's hard to go wrong with the first block as long as you're following your markings. So let me take this off, get it rehooped, and then I'll show you, the process of making sure that we get it as close as possible lined up. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so here I am at the hooping. I've got the design up. Now I need to get it into the right position. So we're going to do layout, and we're going to do move, and
I think that this may be where we stop, but we're going to head on over to the full project now. Now that you got some of the marking information and kind of how to get that going, and we're going to see her do this on her full project. So let me go ahead and get that going here, and let's take a look. Okay. Okay. And here we go. Okay.
everybody, Mendy with Sew Steady here. We're back going to do the actual quilting of our Arrow block project. So what I've got is 6 8-inch blocks across and 6 8-inch blocks down. You might remember that we did about 48 blocks, and I changed in the middle of my plan. And so I made a table runner with those extra blocks, and now we have a table topper here. What I'm going to do is use a design out of our circles collection, and I've got it on the sewing machine right now. So I'm going to see if we can get a frame on here for you to see. This is the design that we're going to be quilting. And let me get my glasses on here so I can tell you the size. I picked an 8-inch design, and it's coming out at 7.88 by 7.90. And I've tested this on the table runner, as a matter of fact, and it came out great. So I'm kind of excited now to go ahead and show you what I learned from that experience. Okay, give me a second. We'll get this thing hooped up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so here's the design that I was trying to show you before, but it didn't show up very well. So this is the circle, interlocking circles. This is going to fill one 8-inch block, and then we're going to do that 6 times in a row times 6 rows. So lots of hooping, but I think it'll be worth it. All right, let me get the fabric all set up, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've got the hoop now on the sewing machine. I've got my embroidery design up on the machine, and now I'm going to do the layout. So we're going to move it just a little bit here. I do like that it has that red laser on it, so I'm going to get it. And this is, as you know, these are 2.5-inch blocks, so there's lots of seams. So there is lots of opportunity to use the seams as your guide. But as we get farther into the design, I'll show you why you really want to use your design as your guide and not the seams. But for right now, we can use the seams because it's our starting one. All right, I'm pretty happy with that placement, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's put our foot down, and let's rock and roll. And this is a 4-minute design. All right, and there we did it. So let me take this off the machine, and then we'll take a look at it on the table. All right, so now we're back at the sewing machine, and I'm making sure that my placement is good. That is right on that seam, so I'm going to do that. And then up here, and I'm sorry you can't see it, but I'll try to explain it. Up here, I am just a little bit to the left of the seam, and kind of right on it. So let's see what I can do for placement here. I know I want to be horizontally. I know I want to be right on it. So let's put my laser there. And once again, we know, whoops, I moved it when I didn't want to. All right, so now I know I'm going to be just a little left, so I think maybe back 1. And on the seam, let's try that needle down position and see where I get it. Okay, that's spot on. That's right on the seam, and it's just a little to the left. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. So let's, oops, sorry, I hit the camera. Let's see how that works out for me. Let's pull that up. I've managed to move my scissors, so let's see if I can just get that out of there. Okay, I only did it once. It should move. So let's do okay, foot down, and let's try. about the alignment is that you can get a little off. You know, it just depends on your hooping and how straight your seams are and all that. And then if you do get a little off, it's not the end of the world. You just have to micromanage and get yourself back on track. And I've had to do that a couple different times on this project, and it's, you know, like I said before, you may see it, but nobody else is going to in the big picture. Okay, so I'm gonna get this off the machine, get it back to the table. We're gonna hoop one more last time for this very bottom design, and then we have one more row, and this little project will be done being quilted. Let's get this hoop off. And once again, let's take a look at what we just did here. And it's a thing of beauty. I'm very, very happy with that. Okay, we're gonna do this last row here. Let me find my, that's gonna be where I've gotta have my center. And I like to find a little, there it is. Right there, so I gotta get it centered here. Okay. All right, let's pull this up just a tidge. And we gotta pull this side down a little bit. Got this in here. I like that. I don't like this. I gotta move this over just a tidge. Just a little bit. Okay. I don't love, there we go. Okay. I'm liking that pretty well. Maybe tug this down just a little. Just a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I like it this way, and yeah, I gotta move this one up just a little bit on this side. Okay, let's try that. There we go. Now I love it. Now I love it. Let's get that tightened. So we're back at the sewing machine. I'm spot on my seam there, and on this back one, what I have to do is I get 3 down from the top, and then I have to turn it around, and that's when I can't see my design. So I've got to be when I'm, you know, in front of you, in the front. So this one is spot on. So now we're ready to do our last row here. And what I like to do is go through and mark a little mark where the center of each one of my hoopings has to be. And I just find that extra helpful. Although I always know that it is in the crook, but when you're in the weeds, it's nicer to have that. So it's 2 down and 2 over out of my out of the patch that I've got here. So we're gonna this is the patch right here. So I'm gonna do 1 2 1 2. So right here is the center. Then I'm gonna do 1 2 3, 4. My center again right there. And I'm just going to continue that down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me mark this whole row while I'm here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4. And 4. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and hoop and start this final row. Let me get my hoop over here. All right, and I got to get this more on the table because we don't hoop the whole bottom there. All right, and where's my little divot? There it is, right there. And it's got to be up a little bit further. Let's see. Up a little bit more. Let's try right there. Put this on. And then my grid. All right. And I'm always thinking about how could I do this better. And you know, I've been relying on the seams, and I've already proven seams are not always perfect. So I think the only other way that I could have done it was to take my straight ruler and drawn lines on this, which would work and probably would have allowed it to be more straight. But then you are dealing with a lot of seams, so then the issue is, do you want it in line with your seams, or do you want it in line with what might actually be straight? Because your seams do eventually work themselves back into straight, and it's just not that every single one is perfectly straight, which might be what I'm dealing with right now. Okay, so I really need to do, well, you know what, this is the end one and this bottom one is kind of going off. The rest of it is super straight, so I'm going to let that bottom one just kind of drift because I'm not going to connect to anything there. And here we are very straight horizontally, so I like that a lot. All right, let's go ahead and get that tightened up, and then we are gonna get on the sewing machine and start the last row. Okay, so this is the last hooping on the project, and we're back. I had it hooped incorrectly, but we're good, back to go, which is another good point as to why I put that little dot there, because I got real focused on my last one and clearly didn't focus on where I was. And that would have been, on my last tubing, that would have been really bad. So, okay, this is a little bit above, and this is a little bit to the left. So we're gonna move this over here. We're gonna put our little laser beam, and then let's go up a little bit. And I want to see where my actual needle is. Okay, so it's a little bit up and a little bit left. I think I need to go a little, whoops, where's my scissors? I think I need to go up another 1 or 2. And I think I need to go over 1 or 2. All right, let's put the needle down again. And I like that better on both counts. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the party started. Last time here, guys. Okay, I apologize. I was finishing the embroidery, and well, I did finish the embroidery and realized that the camera had run out of space, but I couldn't undo what I'd already done. So now you get to see the whole thing finished. And as you step back and you take a look at it, I'm really happy with the design and the overall look of the project here. So now, as you can see, I've already trimmed it down, so it's ready for binding. I've cut my binding strips and sewn them together. So I'm on to the binding as the finishing touch, and I'll show you the end result when we're all done.
All right. You know, one of the things that you have to appreciate is the amazingness of video-based education and how quickly you can embroider those projects. I think it took her a little bit longer than a half an hour to get that done. But, you know, having a little fast forward here and there so you don't have to watch all the stitch outs in real time, probably nice. Gorgeous quilt. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, Amanda, because we have something really fun that we would love for you to participate in. And that is going to be our amazing quilt block challenge. So we want to go ahead and have you participate in our quilt block challenge. That is going to be coming up on, it's actually starting right now, so you can go ahead and join anytime you'd like. But what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and, much like our log cabin challenge, we want you to make your arrow quilts. We want you to share them, whatever projects you're doing, whether it's a pillow project or it's just maybe a table topper, table runner quilt, whatever you do, we want you to share them. You could even just use that quilted block, the materials that we put in your box. We want you to share them. We want you to participate in our Arrow Quilt Block Challenge. We want to see what inspires you in the box. So we've got it official right here on our Sew Steady website. It's under our blog, and you can go to contests, and it's listed under our contests. This is actually going through June. So please take advantage of joining us. We do have, again, 3 different prize winners, first, second, and third. And all we ask is that you give us a little name of your project, if it was inspired by one of the projects that we did this box, or if it was one of your own. We love that too. And then what Sew Steady tools you use to complete it. So I'll post a link to that. We would love to see your work. If you're part of Westerly by Me, then just keep sharing there. We're also doing a really fun where we're highlighting, a community member every week with what they're out there doing on Westerly by Me. And we've seen some gorgeous stuff. I hope you're seeing those in your emails, because I am so inspired by all of you and what you're creating. Unfortunately, we're trying to do the Arrow Project Challenge as something that we really highlight our community with. And we know our amazing educators create gorgeous work, but we're really focusing on our challenges being more community member based, unfortunately. So Kathy, we would love for you to participate. We just may not make you the official winner. But we definitely want all of you out there to participate if you can. And educators can contribute, but I don't know that we're going to actually allow them to win. Okay, is that fair, guys? We would love for you to contribute though. So I'm going to go ahead and post a link to the Arrow Block Challenge right now. And again, that is going through June. So you've got all kinds of time to get that project done, to share with us what your favorite thing in the box was, or what you got inspired to create using the tools and the inspiration that we're going to be sharing all quarter long. We're just getting started, guys. We've got so much to come. Today was our embroidery class. We've actually got another 3-4 great classes next week that are all dedicated to, you know, Arrow Block, and then of course Kathy and her amazing education that she shares. So we're super excited to have you keep sharing away with us, and we'll look forward to having you join us again next week. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.